Let's have a look at the second part of this question. Suppose now that there's this Rod, a world-class player, who offers to help us to find a partner in exchange for some retribution P. So we would pay him a certain price for this. That price is in terms of utility. The only advantage for us to search with the help of this guy is that the cost of this search is gonna be just 1 unit of utility. Now determine how many units we're willing to pay for this help. Okay, so what's happening here? In the relationship itself, the only thing that is changing is that the cost has become 1. But the search, the method of calculating is exactly the same. We still have the 70 to 120 distribution of the player. We still have a specific quality. And we are interested to find out a better option. And depending on that, we would have an expected benefit from finding a better player. Now, let's use the relationship that we already worked on in the first video, in the first part of the question. We found out that specific relationship, which is over here. This was the expected benefit. So let's just crop it and work with it in this new setting. So this is the expected benefit that we calculated before. This expected benefit must compensate the current cost, which is just 100 units of utility. So this is the expected benefit, and it must compensate the cost of 1 unit. So let's do the math. Let's do the cross product, just like we did in the previous question. And we would have 120 minus x to the power of 2 equals to 100. Now if we take the square root of both sides to get rid of the power of 2, we would have 120 minus x equals to just 10, which means that x would equal to 110. So if the guy helps us, you know, due to his expertise, he would be able to filter better players, and we would find even a better player than before, because in the previous question, our player that we found had a quality, or let's say the player that we maximally could find had a quality of 100 units of utility for us. Now in this part, with the help of this tennis player, we can find someone with a quality of 110. So 110 is higher than 100. This one gives us an advantage. This is higher than 100 units than before. So it means that we have a change in utility, an increase in utility of positive 10 units. And since our utility would increase by 10 units, the most that we can pay the guy to help us would be 10 units. So the price in terms of utility that we would be willing to pay him at most must be 10 units. In that case, we would be indifferent between taking his help or not. But we would never pay him more than what we gain in return. So maximum willingness to pay should also be 10 units of utility. Hope this makes sense, and we are done.